Ele é a cara do programa Vitrine, um verdadeiro profissional multimídia. É parceiro de Bruce Springsteen, compõe, produz bandas de rock, apresenta um programa de rádio de vanguarda e participou como ator da série Família Soprano da HBO. Todo elogio é pouco para Steven Van Zandt, ou Little Steve para os íntimos. Eu tive o privilégio de conversar com ele em Cannes sobre música, mercado, comportamento e rock and roll, é claro. Uma visão surpreendente da vida nos anos 2000. Ele tem saudade de um tempo em que as mentes eram mais livres e a imaginação corria solta, sem pagar impostos. Um tempo em que o mercado era menos perverso e a música aguçava a percepção. Estamos falando dos anos 60, 70, no auge do rock, o filho endiabrado do blues. Mas nem por isso Steven se entregou para a nostalgia. Muito pelo contrário. Com seu estilo inconfundível e uma simpatia contagiante, ele vive com o pé no futuro e aposta todas as fichas na nova geração. No comando da Wicked Cool Records, uma gravadora de Nova York especializada em rock de verdade, ele ajudou a revelar cerca de 50 bandas nos últimos anos. No rádio, apresenta um programa para divulgar esse novíssimo repertório. Underground Garage é sintonizado em dezenas de países, quase um movimento pelo resgate de uma onda sonora que andava meio esquecida. Como se fosse pouco, Little Steve é parceiro de Bruce Springsteen na E Street Band e continua com o pé na estrada. Se você quiser saber o que significa o termo multimídia, é melhor prestar atenção na entrevista de hoje.
Steve, do you consider yourself a multimedia activist?
You have to be these days, don't you? There is no one media you can depend on. I do enjoy the synergy, I think, of multimedia. I think it's the way to actually try and support new music. It's so hard now, you know, very hard to break through, you know, to like we did back then. The infrastructure is not quite there to support it. We're the only radio show in the world playing new rock and roll right now. We're trying to get a TV show on because there's no TV. You know, so it's harder to expose a new artist, you know, in any one way, you know. Things have become just much more conservative. They are much more homogenized, you know. We're only allowed to hear really three genres of music. Pop music, hip-hop, and maybe hard rock, you know. And those, while there is good things in there, they're mostly homogenized type of genres where things very much sound the same, as opposed to rock and roll where everything is different, you know. Every single band is a little bit different, a little bit more eccentric, a little bit more personality. We don't encourage personality anymore in our culture, you know. We try and squash it, you know. We want people to fit in to the already sort of cookie cutter places we have for them. So it's not a good era for rock and roll to flourish in. We're underground, you know, and maybe that's where we belong. I don't know, you know, but we're fighting for at least the opportunity for young bands to someday be able to make a living, you know, playing rock and roll again. And we're doing everything we can. Like I say, radio, we're trying to get a TV show on. And we have a new website, Fuzztopia, which we'll be starting in another couple of months, where we allow every single band in the world to sell through our site and be able to get exposed through our brand, which is quite significant now around the world, you know, under the Underground Garage umbrella. And, you know, doing everything we can think of to try and help new bands.
I would like to know your opinion about the future of the big record labels. Do you think that they're going to end?
That's a good question. They're in trouble. The album's sales, which the entire industry has been built on, is gone. Okay? We are now back to 1962, where singles again are what people are buying, from downloads. There are still some album sales, of course, and there will always be exceptions to that rule. But mostly the trend is going towards buying singles again, or single songs even. They're going to have to adjust. They're going to probably have to do what we're doing. We have instituted something called the 360 model, where the artists become partners with the company in everything. Records, publishing, licensing, live performance, merchandise, everything. It's the only way. It's the only way to survive now in the music business. The trouble is, most of the big companies are not exactly qualified in all of these areas, so be a little bit more patient with the development of the content. People are not born great. It takes time. You must learn the craft, learn about songwriting, learn about record making. These things have got to be integrated into the process again, rather than record companies being banks. That's all they are. They're banks, and worried about technology. What's the next technology? Who cares what the next technology is? I don't care. I'm concerned with making the record great. However we sell it, we sell it. However it gets delivered, it gets delivered. I don't care if it's on a truck or if it's on the internet. It's the record that counts. And we must now refocus our energies on the actual record itself, the music itself, the content itself. That's the future right now. And this goes all the way to Wall Street in America, okay, where we only look ahead to the next fiscal quarter. 3 months ahead. That's it. Well, you could not have built America thinking this way, or any other country. Brazil, France, you don't build a country by only planning 3 months ahead. You must plan generations ahead, years ahead, and slowly develop the quality of the essence of your life, of the substance of your life. That's why what makes a country great, or an industry great, or a company great, or a record great.
Roqueiro, mas sem preconceitos. Para Steven, o som forjado nos acordes de João, na imaginação de Vinícius e nas melodias geniais de Tom é uma influência e tanto. Um estilo que faz bem aos sentidos e lança no ar um perfume de sensualidade. Para ele, a garota de Ipanema continua linda e a bossa cada vez mais nova.
My favorite record I have is Stan Getz, playing that music. That girl from Ipanema, very, very influential, actually, wonderful.
Young, lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, I smile, but she doesn't see.
To me, it's the most sensual and the most sexual music, really,
Have you been in Brazil?
I have not been. I'm afraid if I go, I never come back. I don't know, what do you think?
Guitarrista, compositor, arranjador, produtor, DJ e agora ator. Na pele de Silvio Dante, o braço direito de Tony Soprano, Steven tirou a indefectível bandana para criar um personagem que sonha com o passado de glórias da máfia. A série Família Soprano, uma das mais cultuadas da TV mundial, foi uma experiência única na vida de Steven. Roteiros impecáveis, interpretações idem. Tão boa que muita gente por aí sentiu um certo vazio existencial depois do último capítulo.
How did you created your character? How did you constructed it? Have you made any research?
Yes, I was not an actor, so I was a little bit nervous about it, and I decided I have to create this character from the outside in. So I wrote a biography about him. He grew up with Tony Soprano. They were good friends, and made up all these things about him. And then decided that he really appreciated the past more than the present. He felt that the best years of the mafia were over, and they kind of missed the good years. And he's a little bit of a romantic in his mind because, so I wanted him to look like the 40s and the 50s, so the hair, was that style, the suits were that style. And created all of his characteristics that I could think of, what makes him laugh, what makes him cry, his strengths, and he was very much happy to be Tony Soprano's right-hand man. He's probably the only guy in the entire show who didn't want to be the boss, and then I presented that to David Chase and the writers and said, this is what I'm thinking, what do you think, and they were open to it because it was a new character. He wasn't part of the original pilot script. So David wanted me to be in the show, so he wrote the part in for me, and so I kind of invented him a little bit, and then the writers, terrific writers. I mean, starting with David Chase himself, it was their idea to make him very, very cool and calm when it came to life and death. But when it comes to, his daughter's soccer game, football game, or a card game, then he loses, loses his temper. You know what I mean? Gets very, very angry. But if people are shooting each other, he's very calm. So it's an interesting little bit of a personality thing. But it was a lot of fun to learn a whole new craft, and of course, you never stop learning. But for 10 years, it's a big chunk of your life, 10 years and 7 seasons. I think I got a little bit better every year, The camera, whoa, look over here, please. Look. Look at what I'm leaving. I'm leaving this. Am I crazy or what? I got to go to London. And I just got a new affiliate there. My radio show now is all over America, 200 cities, and many of the capitals and all over Europe. You must get us on Brazil. You must get the show on. You know anybody in radio? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
I give it to you for free. Put it on. It's the only place playing rock and roll, so we'll play Brazilian rock and roll too. I'm sure there's a lot down there,
Steve, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I hope we come and play Brazil soon,
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Woke up this morning, got yourself a gun.
So there you go then.